Everybody, Joe Vosper, 10 billion states here. Welcome again. Thanks for watching. As I told you a few months ago, I signed off with Doe. I'd had enough of them, but it's been 3 months now, 3 months going to the soup run. I'm kind of fed up with it, so I'm trying to get back on. So I'm writing them a letter, kind of open letter to, contact them and contact few other people as well, and I'm going to read it to you in a sec. Just open a few things up. Okay, so here's my my Universal Credit account. I'm going to put this in my journal now. Journal entry. Right, let's go get the email. Payment change, message, service industry, work, no appointment, service issues. All right, so I'll just drop this in. We'll go over to the email. Come back and send that in a sec. All right, so here's the letter. An open letter to the Department of Work and Pensions. My name's Joe Vosper. I'm on Universal Credit and I haven't been paid in almost 3 months. When I made my claim, I told the office that I'm self-employed. They accepted this statement, but when I told them what I did for a living, i.e. political activism, I was refused any money because of my intent to replace the government. If this is a democracy, then that decision was not only contrary to the spirit of our political society, but also illegal. I was sent to a different job centre and told to sign on as a job seeker. I'm fully employed. In fact, I currently run 13 active campaigns, companies and organisations. Nevertheless, I was told to commit to 35 hours a week, actively seeking employment. I work far more hours than this and I'm making headway. I've already had about 20 organisations email their thanks for my work, and I've got a viewership in 7 countries. Let me just show you that, because it's quite cute. Yeah, it seems to have vanished. Come back to that. Right. I was made to sign on weekly. I couldn't negotiate this. My work coach had a consistent MO. On alternative weeks, she behaved pleasantly and nastily, criticising all of my efforts and threatening sanctions. All right, I believe this was a deliberate psychological attack on my confidence, and it was effective. The longer this went on, the more of my time was wasted worrying about these interviews beforehand and seething with anger afterwards. I contest that this treatment is an abuse of power, that it's sadistic and malicious, and it finally came to the point where I could no longer face the job centre or even opening emails from them, or to even open my Universal Credit journal. I therefore stopped even thinking about welfare for 10 weeks. I've lost about £1,800 so far in money I needed to live. I'm facing eviction and alienation from friends and family, who in turn have been put under pressure just to keep me alive. I pick up tobacco from the street, I've ceased drinking alcohol, and I get my food from soup runs, which feed me 1 meal a day late in the evening and are rarely adequate. I've lost weight, and I was underweight before this began. Further, I have an outstanding claim against sanctions from 2018 of £1,200, which, because of medical lockdowns, were adjudicated in my absence, and couldn't be contested. I think it's time the welfare system was prevented from using these strategies to steal. I believe I should be compensated not only for the financial losses I've suffered, but also for the psychological abuses I've had to endure. I also think that in a changing world, business needs of individuals who can't work for others by their rules and for their quite frankly diabolical purposes have to be accommodated, and let me explain. An insipid corruption has been allowed to permeate and spread throughout every area of government and commerce worldwide. This began with within the banking sphere, which achieved leverage over governments around the time of the First World War. This control was further entrenched through fractional reserve banking and the creation of central banks around the world. As governments were weakened by debt, lobby groups gradually began to assert more control over governments, and now in modern times, we see that policy is no longer determined democratically at all, but through financial powers which operate above the law, and have now, to maintain because of market pressures upon themselves, resorted to manufacturing crisis upon crisis just to maintain profits. And we find the widening gap between the rich and poor has become unstoppable. Today's business world is essentially a monopoly of only two companies, Vanguard and BlackRock. This means that anywhere we work, we are ultimately funding monopolists. The deal, as people commonly understand it, between employers and employees, i.e., that we work to make them competitive and they in turn provide us with a chance of advancement and secure employment, is no longer the deal most of us face. The market determines that any company which wishes to survive must adopt the policies of the leaders in whatever industry they do business in, and that whatever industry or market they are in, the rules are the same because at the top levels, they're all the same companies. There are, in short, no ethical employers left, and those who start up ethically must compromise this stance or fail and thus fire their staff. Faced with this choice, I must avoid employment. It's not a political preference, but a moral imperative. I do not believe I'm exaggerating. To work today is not only counterproductive to my own intentions and wishes, but a direct conscious attack on everybody else who's not an elite level exploiter of the human race. I could not be excused this attack because I know the aforementioned facts, but above and beyond that, I'm in possession of a solution to the problem, and I have the means of expressing it. I therefore am obliged to carry on with the work I do in my organisation, 10 Billion States. 10 Billion States aims at making every human alive a sovereign ruler of their own state and facilitating the treaties and trade agreements which they need to self-govern. 10 Billion States provides the only non-corruptible, secure and sustainable political solution I know in the modern world, where we're all globalists or primitives, whether we like it or not. This letter will be sent to my MP, to local councillors and to the Parliamentary Undersecretary of State, Minister for Welfare Delivery, to the Department of Work and Pensions and my work coach. It'll be published on my website, to social media and advertised wherever I can distribute it. And there's the website. I've signed it, my email address. PS, for further identification purposes, refer to what is called my national insurance number. I know, however, I consider myself to be in the process of seceding from what you call our country, but I can't complete this feat while I lack the means of contesting your occupation of my land. Please consider leaving it. Okay, so that's ready to go. As you can see, I've CC'd all of you into this, and I'm going to send it now and then post it on my site. By the way, I always forget to say this. Please, if you see this on YouTube, share it. If you see it on Facebook, share it and like it. And if you go into my website, there's no reason at all why you can't copy the URL of the video from the top and post that on your social media as well. Okay, so this is going now. I'm going to send a copy to Kernel 1. I always try and do this order, go to the actual social networks and then go to the fake social networks, which are totally anti-social. I just have to move this out. Might as well send this now. You have many, many characters too many. Guess I'll get back to that. Okay, that one's gone. Facebook now. Alright, it's taking a while. All right, I'll get on with this. Appreciate your comments on this. If you're doing anything similar, I'd love to hear about it. Once again, if you know anybody within the freedom movement who's got an organisation or a company, get onto Concat is on the website, and have them call me. And yeah, tune in again for the next one. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon.